This evening on House and Home, Dr. Ambi joins us once again for the mental health segment. Our friends from the PNG Fire Services talk about fire safety, and Bill Neal has more great quality bites to share with us, available only at Brian Bell. A wonderful evening to you all, and glad to have your company once again on House and Home. Well, this week is Valentine's Week, with Valentine's Day falling on Friday, the 14th of February. Even though a special day has been put aside for Valentine's, it doesn't mean you get to celebrate your love with that special someone once a year. You should always appreciate the love of your life every day and plan a getaway with just the both of you or your immediate family, if need be, to somewhere whenever you can, as often as you can. Well, having said that, over the years, the traditional ideal of Valentine's Day has shifted. Valentine's Day has become somewhat more modernized, where it's become a day shared in celebrating love with friends and friendships as well as families. To all your loved ones, remind them how very special they are to you. Moving on, we join Dr. Ambi for the mental health segment.
Good evening, Olgeta. Mental health segment one time, House and Home. Well, viewers, this evening, me like welcoming one more time to discuss very important celebration we are going to celebrate, that is Valentine's Day. Well, Valentine's Day, what does it mean to every one of us? It's just time to celebrate the love. Love is something which is very beautiful. It's in our heart, and it's in the way of expressing our relationship, strengthening our relationship. So what is the intentions? Many people all like asking, what is the purpose? What is the intentions of celebrating Valentine's Day? Any time lo celebrating love, me talk lo again, because one plus something can nurture good mental health in your life and with your loved ones, because life is only once. So we need to make it more beautiful with having good mental health and nurture that true love, which is God's love, which is important. Well, when the Valentine's Day comes, many of us always think that stress and anxiety takes a big roller coaster. Why? Because there is so much of the Valentine's Days have been expressed in many ways, and it's been commercialized. You will see it in the radio, TV, now all get a hub. Now all young people picnini or like buying expensive gift or this like kind. Emi think em go also na buy you kiss him stress na anxiety. Emi good pla this la Valentine's Day you me must rouse him this la stress na anxious na buy you must straight him life blow you good through law in God's love. Well, it is all about relationship. When you talk about Valentine's Day, it is not between two lovers or romance all about. It is about the relationship between your parents or grandparents or your siblings or your teachers or someone who have mentored yourself and have made your life so beautiful to who you are and what you are, and you really want to express. So in 365 days, one day in calendar has given to you to celebrate and express that love and the meaning of your love to others. Well, my impression will be 365 days you must celebrate Valentine's Day, because that is the foundation for our goodness and our strength in our having good mental health, and to celebrate something beautiful in your heart, to enjoy every part of your life. Well, how can we celebrate this Valentine's Day without stress and anxious? Is one of them is to pamper yourself. Get up on the first thing in the morning and tell yourself how much you love yourself, because pamper yourself, because you are very important in order to give good love to another person. So chance blow you this la narpla the love. Don't you think about get up now, talk to your loved ones or whom you mean a lot, to love them, say I love you, or get a card, a handmade card will be more appreciated by those who truly love you and those you really love. And it is not the expensive gift or something which wealthy stuff which will change your true love. Now meeting Mosem, your thoughts, your affections and everything are very, very important, because most of the people, they get agonized and worried and tense about getting which kind of card should I get, is it going to change my love to them, are they going to misunderstand? No, God, love is much more complex than the flower and chocolates. So you can buy those things, but you don't have to be anxious and stressed about what you're buying. Me like Toko, same chemistry, we take, oh, the chemistry is working out. But chemistry is not the only factor. There are many factors, psychological factors, and is the feeling identity and feeling goodness about one another, laugh about yourself, it's actually bind your love more. Well, there are two types of passionate love and compassionate love. Well, we have to nurture these two things, because passionate love is like a fire and it lasts short, and of course it's like a butterflies, and you're passionate about getting someone's love towards you, and it's the feeling, and you might be suffering, and those are emotional things. But compassionate love is something is very clean and closeness and trust and affections, so that lasts more longer. So well, you can't buy all these things with the wealth and materialistic wealth, or the success in your life, or physical attractions. You can't have all that thing. But long-term relationship does not depend on all those things either. Well, you need to invest in many things in your life with stability to have good relationship and equity between two relationships in order to strengthen your love. Well, let me tell you, every religion has got their own way of expressing God's love to everyone. As a Christian, we must say that cross has given you the God's love. God's love is the best love, and He is there. The Lord Jesus showed His love for sinners, and His love to the sick, and His love to the enemies, His love to mankind, and everything He did it all on the cross, and He thirsts for our love. So let me tell you in John 19 how Lord said He's thirsting for our love. Give our love, because He is everlasting love of His overflowing from the heaven. If you have God's love with you, everything in your life will turn to be light and love, and which is strengthened and long lasting. Today is a Valentine's Day. Change your love to God's love, to change it to the best, so that you will never come lack on anything at all. So viewers, this time, me like him asking you all get our Lord, search Him, this like God's love, which can strengthen all love. And happy Valentine's Day to everyone who are listening to me, and to all viewers, those who love to hear from us. Until next segment, me like him talking Mupla, all gada take care, and God bless you all. Bye bye now.
After the break, we join Inspector Shimon of the PNG Fire Services talking dealing with fire safely.
Good night, viewers. Welcome to another segment of Fire Talk. In this session, we'll be talking about cooking safety. Cooking brings families and friends together, provides an outlet for creativity, and can be relaxing. But do you know that cooking fires are the #1 cause of home fires and home injuries? In 2012, cooking was involved in an estimated 156 home structure fires that were reported to PNG Fire Service. These fires caused deaths, injuries to the occupants, and millions of kina in property damage. By following a few safety tips, you can prevent these fires. Cooking with caution. Be on alert if you are sleepy or have consumed alcohol. Do not use the stove or the stove top. Stay in the kitchen when you are frying, grilling, or boiling food. If you leave the kitchen for even a short period of time, turn off the stove. If you are simmering, baking, roasting, or boiling food, check it regularly. Remain in the house while the food is cooking, and use a timer to remind you that you are cooking. Keep anything that can catch fire, like oven mitts, wooden utensils, food packaging, towels, or curtains, away from your stove top. Always keep the stove top, burners, and oven clean. Wear short, close-fitting, tightly rolled sleeve when cooking. Loose clothing can dangle onto stove burners and can catch fire if it comes in contact with a gas flame or electrical burner. Have a kid-free zone of at least 3 feet around the stove and areas where hot food or drink is prepared or carried. Always use cooking equipment that has the label of a recognized testing laboratory. Follow manufacturer's instruction and code requirements when installing, cleaning, and operating cooking equipment. Plug microwave ovens or other cooking appliances directly to an outlet. Never use an extension cord for a cooking appliance, as it can overload the circuit and cause a fire. Check electrical cords for cracks, breaks, or damages. If you have a cooking fire, just get out. When you leave, close the door behind you to help contain the fire. Call fire service on 110 after you leave. If you do try to fight the fire, be sure that others are already getting out and you have a clear path to the exit. Always keep a lid nearby when you are cooking. If a small grease fire starts in a pan, smooth out the flame by carefully sliding the lid over the pan. Turn off the burner. Do not move the pan. To keep the fire from restarting, leave the lid on top until the pan is completely cool. In case of an oven fire, turn off the heat and keep the oven door closed. After the fire, the oven should be checked or serviced before used again. For any information regarding the content of this topic, visit your nearest fire station or call 110. I am Inspector Simon Zagipa, and remember, firefighting starts with you. Prevention is better than curing. Good night.
Now lately there's been one too many residential fires here in the nation's capital. One I know of, unfortunately, happened over the weekend, possibly during the time of the blackout period on Saturday. Just a safety reminder to all you residents that during these times of blackouts, it's wise to ensure that all electrical items and power switches are switched off, especially ceiling fans. Power surges may cause damage to electrical items as well as power boards or switches. In some cases where cheap power boards or power adapters have been bought in shops that do not have the PNG Power Certificate of Approval, there's a high possibility they may cause an electrical fire. Also during blackouts where you have the need to use candles, ensure you keep the candles well secured, preferably standing in a glass jar, away from curtains and insecure places where they're not going to be easily knocked down onto flammable objects such as old floorboards, woven mats, carpets, or flammable plastic objects, etc. Another safety measurement you can purchase and keep within your home is to keep a couple of fire extinguishers and fire blankets available and have them placed in areas of your home that are easily accessible. This can prove extremely handy in case of any fire emergency and possibly reduce the extent of damage. Think safety at all times, especially within your homes. Coming up next, promoting solid education from early childhood learning, so stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching House and Home if you just tuned in. We all know the importance of education and need to strive to ensure that all our children in Papua New Guinea get that chance at learning to read and to write. In order for that to happen, childhood learning plays an important part in preparing the children, introducing them to basic learning, and it all starts with storytelling, nursery rhymes, songs, pictures, and numbers with the introduction to books. Here's a feature story on a particular not-for-profit organization based in Port Moresby, which has established children's libraries and continues to foster a love of reading and learning. Book Belong Pikinini.
Only half of school-age children go to school, and the literacy rate in PNG is well under 50%, as officially claimed. In some areas, it's as low as 5%. What is the right school age for children?
Our libraries, we are getting 4 to 5 and 6 year old because our organization is dealing with most vulnerable children who don't have the opportunity to go to preschool or other schools that parents were not able to afford this fees and all this. So we were targeting for those kids, and you will see that our libraries are most getting those children from the settlement.
Book Belong Pikinini was established in 2007 and has so far up to several children libraries in. How many libraries do you have in and around Port Moresby, and are there any in other centers?
Yeah, sure. We have 8 at the moment, and 2 is just about to open, one at Tatana, and one is coming up at ATS. and we have 4 in regions. We have 3 in regional regions. That one is not yet opening, but 2 other 3 are running. One up at Goroka at the Bed of Paradise hotel. They were one of those, yeah, yes, and one is Lei University, and the other one is at Eriku. But we have one coming up at uh, University of Goroka, but there's something that need to be get it organized, so it will be open soon.
So a lot of growth since 2007 for Book Belong Pikinini. How are Book Belong Pikinini libraries different to other libraries?
Um, Actually, we are the library and we are not a school. Most people think that we are a school, but our aim is to make these little kids, they have to know how to read this early age before they go to schools. So we use Jolly Phonics approach in our libraries. We teach them sound and then they master the 42 sounds. And then we put them on the base 1 level and they started reading from there until after level 5 and they are ready, so we send them to elementaries. Yeah.
So it's more a preparation that you do, and it's not so much a school, but it's to encourage them to read, encourage them to love books and want to read, correct?
So yeah, therefore, our aim is to make them to fall in love with books. So we encourage books in our library. So we read as much books they have to read at this age before they go to school. So we have some very good, amazing stories happen in this 3-year-old, 4-year-old. They can read very confident at this age, and parents were really amazed to see that. And the syllables that we offered is very expensive, but they pay nothing and it's free. Yeah.
What is one success story that comes to mind? One example of one child that you, from the top of your head, that you think of is a good success story?
Yes, we have most success story in our libraries, but there are a few that I can let you know. Some of these 4-year-old, 5-year-old, they can read very confident with 5 to 6 textbooks with a level of grade 2 or grade 3 can read, but a 4-year-old and 6-year-old can read. So when they go to elementary and they do a diagnosis test, and the teachers at elementary, they see that they were above the level that they expected. They always push them straight to grade 4 and grade 5. And there's some of the amazing stories that we have in our libraries.
Fantastic, and I understand. I learned just today when we were chatting before this interview that there is a Book Belong Papa Mama too, where you encourage the parents to learn along with their children so they can continue this learning at home. Tell us a bit about that.
Yes, of course, because the mothers that are sending their kids home, some of them are illiterate, they cannot read. So for them to help their kids is very hard. So we encourage the mothers to come to the library. They sit with their kids and they learn the sounds. They do the blending, they do segmenting, and they started together with their kids. So in that way, because the kids, they learn very fast, at times, if they're more advancing, then they help their mothers again. If a mothers by chance, then they learn fast, then they help their child again in reading. So we encourage mothers to come and they also learn with their kids.
Fantastic. A lot of the work that you do is preparation for schools. What advice do you have for just parents out there who are parents or guardians, boo-boos, those that stay at home with the kids?
Coming from a teacher background, I've been teaching in some of these private schools, and the syllables that Book Belong Pikinini is offering, I see that it's a bit very expensive, but coming to our level where it's really free, where if you send a child to IE schools or other schools, private schools, you pay thousands and thousands of money for that particular child to get educated. But I see that there is great opportunity, and parents need to see that it's like what this organization is doing. It's just offering free for them. So I normally go out doing awareness on parents who are there. I said, bring your child and let them learn, because it's the opportunity, and opportunity comes in once, and this organization is here for us and here to stay. So as we Papua New Guineans, we have to benefit, and it's an opportunity.
For our viewers watching that would like to help, how can they help Book Belong Pikinini with the work that you're doing?
I think it's very important. The other organization and donors, they think that very important thing that what Book Belong Pikinini is doing, and they donate books, they donate kind like cash and all these things into our library to support this to continue on. So I like to encourage our government to look into this one as well, because most of our elementary kids, they are not able to read at this age, and some of the kids that the government cannot cater for them at the age of 4 to 5 and 6 years. The government only they only allow funds for the 7-year-old where they go to elementary and they started, but they forget about these ones. But because this is very important that they learn its age very fast, because their minds are like sponges. I think what we're doing is, I think it's very important for Papua New Guineans to see. It's very important. What I say, it's very important because early childhood, most people think that the kids go to school at this early age at 7 and 8 and they learn things, but they forget about this very early age, the ages 4-year-old, 5-year-old and 6-year-olds where they learn very fast at this age. And to make them, to build them a better citizen of this nation, I think is through reading. If you want to be an educated person, if you want to be whatever, you have to start early age. And the foundation of reading and understanding and learning is through reading. So we believe in reading, so that's why this organization is here, to make as much opportunity available for the unfortunate Papua New Guineans to have the opportunities to read, so that they can, as they continue to their education, they are better learners for tomorrow.
That was Rose from Book Belong Pikinini.
Childhood learning is definitely a key to literacy, and it starts with a book. It doesn't matter how young your child is, you can start by reading children's books to them as young as a year old, or even as babies if you'd like, at home. Children develop faster when you read to them or allow them to watch educational learning material at the earliest possible age. By doing this, you're nurturing their ability to learn more as they get older. Visual educational material allows a toddler to recognize numbers and letters and sounding of letters, which encourages speech and pronunciation of words. When they are of age to attend preschool, not only will they be at an advantage, but it encourages to excel and wanting to learn more. There are many children's books available. Why not start a library for your own little one? For those that would like to make a donation of books to Book Belong Pikinini, you can find or either pay a visit at either of the libraries. The one we visited is located within the campus of the University of Papua New Guinea. And coming up after the break, Bill Neal introduces you to RATSAC. See you in a moment.
Hey, hey, Mr. B.
Good evening and welcome to another Brian Bill segment on House and Home. I'm your host for the evening, Bill Neal. How many houses, commercial and residential buildings have water tanks these days? See, water tanks are a smart way to save money and ensure that you have an ample supply of water. A lot of these water tanks are old. This gives the perfect opportunity for bacteria to fester and grow. Brian Bell and Beltec have a new product that have just hit the shelves that'll make sure you have no water tank woes. Pour and Go is the name and cleaning water tanks is the game. We're going to take a look at what this product can do for you, how you use it, its benefits, and you already know where you get it from, Brian Bell and Beltec. Pour and Go controls all forms of bacteria, viruses and algae that are commonly found in rainwater storage tanks. Pour and Go is effective against E. coli, Salmonella, Campylobacter and other infections that are harmful to one's health, which result directly from infected water supply. Pour and Go is tasteless, odorless and ecologically friendly. Pour and Go is totally chlorine-free, which means that when used, it absorbs totally into water and oxygen. Now, contamination of a water tank infects the plumbing system of a dwelling as well. Infections like Legionella are not only spread through drinking water, but they can be spread through baths and showers. So it's important to have an effective and affordable method of water treatment. It's also effective to have regular treatment intervals to ensure the ongoing protection. Depending on the usage, Pour and Go has shown to be effective for up to 28 days or more. It is recommended that a monthly dosage program be implemented if your water tanks are servicing a school, a hostel or a lodge, because let's face it, your guests are going to be the ones that are least tolerant to the contaminants in your water. Here are the 3 steps of treatment. 1. Ensure your roof is clean. Ensure that gutters and downpipes are free of dirt and debris. Drain and flush any low points that can allow dirt and contamination to collect. 2. Dose the tank by removing the hatch over and spreading Pour and Go over as much of the surface of the water as possible. And 3. Allow contact time for the Pour and Go to mix and react. The water may be used within this time, but disinfection may not be complete. So now let's talk about the dosage. Pour and Go typically comes in one of these 2-litre containers. If you were to use this entire container, you would be cleaning a 20,000 litre tank. A 10,000 litre tank, 1 litre, half this container. A 30,000 litre tank, which some of the mining sites in PNG have, something that's near the size of this empty pool here, you'd be using 3 litres. But for our purposes, for the dosage we're going to use next, we're going to be using 100 mils for a 1,000 litre tank. So it's about 100 mils to 1,000 litres, that's the ratio you work off. Pour and Go is a chlorine-free treatment for the control of bacteria and viruses commonly found in rainwater storage tanks. It is effective against all commonly occurring bacteria. Pour and Go is manufactured using only food-grade ingredients, and when diluted for use, it is tasteless, odorless and eco-friendly. Unlike chemicals of the past, where you would have to wait for a few days or even a week before the water was finally clean enough to consume, with Pour and Go, you can drink the water 24 hours or sooner. It kills bacteria and then dissipates, which means it's gone. Unlike chlorine, which leaves a residue, Pour and Go contains hydrogen peroxide, which has no activity on aluminium, steels, iron, or any metals for that matter. It is non-corrosive to metals, unlike chlorine, which is. See, so that means that if you had a corrugated iron tank, or something similar to one of these guys, then using Pour and Go would not affect the durability of your tank. Tanks rusting in the first place is why now plastic tanks are so popular. Another benefit of using Pour and Go is that you cannot overdose it. Chlorine is harmful, and with its residual leftover, it will persist to remain in your water source for longer, unlike Pour and Go. It kills bugs, has no residual leftover, is harmless, and lives in the water shorter. Totally safe on metals and easy to use. Apply by simply pouring into the top of the water tank. Spread over the surface of the water if possible. Disinfection will normally be complete within about 24 hours, but may safely be used sooner. Be sure to wash your hands after use and wear eye safety, as it may cause irritation to the eyes.
Pour and Go has been approved by New Zealand and Australian regulatory bodies. It can be used in residential, commercial, on the boats, hotels, mining camps, and the list is endless.
Everyone has or knows somebody with a water tank. They're money smart, water smart, and they suit our climate. With fickle rain seasons and long dry seasons, our water tank is a house's best friend. Pour and Go is a tank's best friend. It's safe, easy to use, effective, and most importantly, it ensures the safety and health of your staff and your family members. Because the clean water that you collect from nature is exactly what you're consuming. Water that is free of the common bacteria. Pour and Go can be found at all your Brian Bell home centers or at your good Beltec outlets nationwide. Think safety. Think Pour and Go. Great products, great prices. That's Brian Bell. See you all next week. Good night.
Best price, best quality, guaranteed at Brian Bell.
Right on, Mr. B.
More on House and Home in a moment, so stay with us. Welcome back. Now I'm going to talk on a topic that will hopefully answer the one question that has been asked by many women, mums, housewives, or men that just simply enjoy cooking every time they go out shopping to purchase a bottle of oil. And I'm almost certain that some may have been even asked by their own children, and it's either you don't have an answer or just simply make one up to avoid looking silly. If you're one that frequently does the cooking at home, then you're probably familiar with using oil. Cooking oil, that is, which is used as an ingredient for recipes or mostly used for frying. One of the most common cooking oil that most, if not all, households are familiar with is vegetable oil. Even though it says vegetable oil, but what is vegetable oil? What makes up vegetable oil? You walk into a shop and on the shelf are a number of different types of oils. I tend to hear a great deal the question asked by a shopper, what's the difference? Well, I'm going to explain in brief the different types of oils available in our supermarket shelves, what oils are best used for frying, the proper use of each oil, and the best way to store oil. I'll start with vegetable oil. Vegetable oil is probably the most commonly used of all the oils. As mentioned earlier, it can be used in recipes, but it's mainly used for frying. Vegetable oil is actually a blend of several oils such as corn, soybean, palm, and sunflower. One other oil that's become a frequent user in a number of households is canola oil. Canola oil is known to be one of the most healthy of the cooking oils because of its low saturated fat content and high monounsaturated fat. What is saturated fat? Putting it very simply, it's the fatty acids that contribute in weight gain. These fats are also found in cream, cheese, butter, and fatty meats, for example. Too much of this saturated fat can lead to a number of health problems. Monounsaturated fat is a healthier fatty acid. Canola oil is commonly used in frying, but it's best used in medium frying temperatures, such as pan frying, not so much for barbecues. Then there's corn oil. Corn oil is relatively low on both saturated and monounsaturated fats. It's popular in margarines and can be used in both frying and baking. Like the canola oil, corn oil should be used when frying in medium temperatures. Also on the supermarket shelves, you'll find sunflower oil. Sunflower oil is low in saturated fat and high in vitamin E. Many food manufacturers are recognizing the health benefits of sunflower oil and are using it as the preferred oil in such snack foods as potato chips. It can also be used in the home to fry general cooking and also used in salad dressings. The olive oil. Now the olive oil is my favorite of all oils and one I tend to use a great deal in my kitchen. There are different varieties of olive oil: extra virgin, virgin, extra light, and refined. Extra virgin olive oil is the most common of those used. There are many uses for all varieties, such as stir frying, cooking, sautéing, and as an ingredient in recipes. Olive oil is also frequently used in salad oils. It is the most healthy of all the oils as it is high on monounsaturated fat, which has been shown to help reduce the risk of heart disease. Many people use it daily in their meals, drizzling it over a wide variety of foods. The last oil on my list, found commonly on supermarket shelves, is peanut oil. Peanut oil is a great oil to use when frying at high temperatures. In some foreign countries, it's a common oil used during Thanksgiving, as many homes would use it in their turkey fries to fry their turkeys. But I find peanut oil as the best oil to use during barbecues, and it can be used anytime when frying is required at very high temperatures. Now let's talk on storing oil. All oils remain liquid when kept at room temperatures, so it's best to store oil in a dark, dry place such as your pantry if you have one, or your kitchen cupboard. Oils that are high in monounsaturated fat will keep up to a year, while refined olive oil, having the highest of monounsaturated fat, can last a few years. Extra virgin and virgin olive oils will keep about a year after opened. The shelf life of most other oils after open is usually 6 to 8 months. Another important fact to note is how to properly discard used cooking oil. It should never be poured down your kitchen sink. Oil can congeal and block pipes. The best way to discard of it is to pour it into a leak-proof container and discard it with the rest of your garbage. Now that you're more knowledgeable about cooking oils, the different types of cooking oils available and its best uses, you can shop easy with the understanding and decide for yourself which is better for you. Happy shopping, and we'll be back with more on House and Home in a moment.
Tastiest tuna in a can. It's the new Best of Tuna Chunks in 185 grams. Packed with 100% premium white meat goodness. The finest export quality tuna is now available nationwide in oil and brine. Best of Tuna Chunks and Bestia. Proudly PNG made.
Good night, everyone. Welcome and thank you for watching another Cooking with Besta. For tonight's recipe, I will show you how to prepare Besta tuna crostini. In front of me we have 2 tablespoons olive oil, 2 tablespoons red onion minced, a 1/4 cup of minced bell pepper, 2 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon, a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, sliced cucumber for dressing, 1 ripe tomato sliced to garnish the crostini, and our sliced French baguette, plus our main ingredient, Besta tuna, chunks in brine or oil. Firstly, we add in our onion, our bell pepper, we add in our tuna chunks, lemon juice, pinch of salt, a pinch of black pepper for taste, and we mix all our ingredients together. Once our ingredients are well combined, we use our Glad wrap to cover, and we refrigerate for approximately 1 hour. This will allow the flavors to combine. While we wait for our mixture to refrigerate, let's prepare our French baguette. We bring out our baking tray, line up our French baguette. We brush the French baguette with our olive oil. We add in a bit of pinch salt on our French baguette for taste, and also our black pepper. And we put it in the oven to bake for approximately 10 minutes. Okay viewers, our French baguette is now ready to be removed from the oven. As you can see, it's really nice and crunchy. Our crostini mixture is also ready, so we'll now remove from the refrigerator. Okay viewers, we'll serve our French baguette. We'll add a little bit of mayonnaise on it. Continue to do this until all your French baguette are buttered with mayonnaise. We'll add in our crostini mixture. Serve onto your French baguette. Continue to do this until you finish all of the French baguette. Okay, for the dressing, you can add on your tomato. And your cucumber on top. And here you have it, Besta tuna crostini. Thank you for watching, and hope you join me again same time next week on Cooking with Besta. It's better, it's Besta, pride of PNG.
It's the tastiest tuna in a can. It's the new Besta tuna chunks in 185 grams. Packed with 100% premium white meat goodness. The finest export quality tuna is now available nationwide in oil and brine. Besta tuna chunks and Bestia, proudly PNG made.
As I mentioned at the start of the show, this week is Valentine's Week, with Valentine's Day falling on Friday the 14th. Be a little spontaneous and surprise the love of your life with flowers and chocolates. If you're busy, I'm sure the flower shop can have them delivered to her office for you. For the ladies, get your man something nice as well and wrap it up nicely. Otherwise, plan a breakfast, lunch or a dinner date with him or her. Now next week on House and Home, Norman Opims talks more on education, Origin Gas Talk are back demonstrating on connecting your gas safely, and Bill Neal has more great quality buys to share with us, available only at Brian Bell stores. This is where I leave you. Until next week, from the House and Home crew and myself, it's good night.